Alright, so I recently got into reloading, and I got a bunch of stuff to do that with, and I figured I'd do a little 101 here and just show the stuff that I got just to start out with. And so far I haven't needed to buy anything else, so I think I've gotten everything that I need. I currently am only reloading the 45 ACP, so I'm only set up to do that so far. This is the Lee Challenger press. It's been working very well for me. It's nice. It's got a little primer catch here. Catches all your primers so they don't go over the floor, and you don't have to worry about them bouncing, into a bucket or anything. Nice little add-on there. This has the breech lock system. So basically here, what you can do is screw your dies into this collet here. Now the press only comes with one, so you need to purchase additional if you want one for each of your dies. Just so you know, if you do order them off of Amazon, they do come in a package of two. This being why I have extra now, but I guess it can't hurt, since if I ever get more dies, I'll be ready. So anyway, your die, you can lock your die into that, and then this will put it back in the same position every time. So once you get your dice set, they're good to go. Instead of having to redial them in every time you remove a die, you will be switching dies pretty often. And also, when you get your die kit, you will get a shell holder. So right here is the 45 ACP shell holder. Actually does work for many different calibers, but every set you get. So this is the carbide die set for 45. Usually if you get the deluxe set, comes with the shell holder right under here underneath this powder scoop. And here's your 4 dies. So I'm not going to be teaching you how to reload here, so pretty much going to show you the things you need. So we have our press, and we have our dies so far. I opted to try and get a powder measure. So this is the Lee perfect powder measure. Doesn't work so well. If you're loading medium charges, it's pretty good because it's usually off by one, or just 0.1 or 0.2 grains. But what I've been doing is making it throw a little bit less, and then I bought a trickler. I can't remember who makes this one. I think it's a Lyman, actually. What's nice about this is you can adjust the height, which is pretty nice. I usually set it up right here, right underneath, and have my powder measure there and my scale. This digital scale, I used it a lot reloading for shot shell. It was pretty good on the heavier loads. It's a little tough on the lighter loads. Now that I'm only lighting 2 or 3 grains, I would probably recommend, if you do, if you're in the market for one, probably get a little bit better one. This was like $23. Worked really well for shot shell. It's nice. It lights up. Show you that here. Lights up. It comes with a leather case. So you get a leather case. You get a metal pan, and also in here is a 50-gram calibration weight, which I usually I'll do it every once a week or so. Tell you what, the battery life's been pretty good. I've reloaded a lot of shotgun shells with this, and I've only changed the batteries once, so it did work well for shot shell. I just don't think it's accurate enough. I seem to be measuring a little more than I thought I'd want to. So I'm just going to pull these items out of the way. Highly recommend these loading trays here. I think they were like $7 or $8. They're MTM, and everything I got here I got from Amazon. So these are pretty nice. What's cool about these, this side here, which is for 9mm to 45 pistol, and if you look at the other side Here's all your rifle cartridges, including 357 Magnum, 38 Special, 308. So they're pretty universal. Do recommend getting two. Reason being is when you're reloading here, just gonna adjust the camera. When you're reloading here, it's nice to have these next to each other, and just to keep yourself organized. You know, as you do a step to it, whether you're depriming or adding powder or whatever you're doing, you know, do one, move it to the next tray. Just keeps you organized. Make sure you don't make any mistakes. You're also gonna need some brass. What I opted to do is I shot and saved my brass for a while, so I now have plenty of brass. These ones here are actually ready to go. They've been cleaned. They've been deprimed. I've tossed out pretty much any ones that had any defects. So that's that. Moving along here, I did buy this funnel. Haven't used it yet. I guess it's a nice thing to have, but I'll just throw it out there. I really like this one better. It's a pan and a funnel. So right after I measure my charge, right into the cartridge. Much better. Like I said, this here, you can mount it. You can do all sorts of things with it. I guess you can mount it to your bench. Figure out a way to do that, but I haven't even used it yet. So moving right along, you are gonna need powder. It's the only thing I couldn't get from Amazon was that powder. Got them from local gun stores where I could find it. It's been very hard to find powder. Luckily, I had a lot of powder left over from the shotgun reloading that I do, and a lot of the shotgun powders are pretty good for 45 caliber. So the unique has been the best so far. I've been trying to work loads up with the clays. Clay's a little trickier. Can't remember exactly. What happens is it builds pressure up very fast. So once you start getting to the max loads, it starts getting a little dangerous. So just be careful with that. And it's the same thing with the tightwad. The tightwad was the last powder I bought, only because that's all they had, and I figured, you know what, even if I can't use it for 45, I'll use it for shot shell. You're going to need primers, either large pistol or small pistol, depending on the caliber that you are loading. I'll just tell you, nowadays there's 45, I think it's PMC, or no, Blazer. The Blazer 45s have small pistol primers, so just be careful when you're sorting your brass. You sort those out separately. I did buy primers for those, and I'll load them at some point. Those were the items that I couldn't get. Also from Midway, I ordered bullets. So to start out here, I had a 185 grain hollow points, box of those, and here's a big old box of plated 230 grain round nose. Here is, I recommend this instead of using your press for priming. I think this was $20 on Amazon. It's the Lee Auto Prime. Very simple. It's set up so you put your primers in here, you give it a little shake. Your primers are automatically orient the right way. You get them in this chute here, and you prime your shells one at a time. Comes with a base for the small pistol primers and the large pistol primers. It might just be pistol. I think it's small primers and large primers, so you could probably do rifle cases too if you wanted to. With that, you do need to buy, it doesn't come with it, the hand priming tool shell holder set. Comes with shell holders that are capable. Just about every one you'll ever need. Got a little fancy chart in here. Shows you every caliber and which shell holder you use for that. This, I believe, is a lineman tool. Good to have for cleaning out the, good to have for cleaning out the primer pockets. If you had to ream a primer pocket because it's crimped. I don't have any military brass, but you have the capability of that.
Also comes with many other tools. I have these are the large pistol primers setup. Comes with same exact ones for small pistol primer. Also, to clean up your edges on your brass, you can do the inside, the outside of your brass, and the inside with this one. So nice tool. I had another one that I bought, a little tiny handheld one. This one seems to work a lot better. I will recommend. I tossed the brass first before I deprimed it. The primer pockets are pretty dirty, so I was using that tool. And basically, if you can set yourself up with an air compressor and have that handy, it'll be much better than having to blow the dust out of the primer pockets. This here's a bullet puller. Comes with 3 different collets. You can see we got one in there now. They're caliber specific. There's only 3, but either way, you can you load your bullet inside this collet, which is held together with an O-ring. And there's some sort of science to doing this in 3 whacks according to the instructions. But I've tried many ways, beating the hell out of it, going easy. Trying to. I don't do it on this plastic table. I find a nice solid wood table and give it a couple whacks, and it's pretty good. You probably won't need it much. This one's Frankfurt Arsenal. Probably won't need it much once you get good at loading. But when you start with the starting loads, a lot of them are way too light to even cycle the action in your gun. So instead of wasting that ammo, you bring them home, you take them apart, and you try again. So I've been using it a lot right in the beginning here while I'm working up loads. Cheap adjustable wrenches, important for setting your dies up in the beginning, just to be able to get a nice good tight fit on those dies. Also, at least on my depriming die, it has a safety mechanism in it where it'll push the primer pin up if the primer's too tight. It was pushing it up on me for every round, so I had to just tighten that down. It was helpful that I had those wrenches. A couple other things you might want to think about having. It's a reloading book. This is the Lyman 49th edition. It's a pretty good book. It's got pretty much every cartridge in here. There's not many loads for each one, though, so even on my favorite cartridge, which I'm currently loading, the 45 ACP, there's 4 loads on this page here, and there's only 4 others on this page here, so there's not many loads in there, but there is a lot of information in the first couple chapters which would get you started on reloading. Some of the basics. I would recommend some sort of little notepad. It's very helpful to keep track of when I go to the range, how many I made, what the recipe was, what the overall length was, and how they performed for me. I do the same thing with shotgun until I find a load that I like. Once I get a load I like, I'll just be loading those pretty much. So here is another critical tool you're going to need is a dial caliper. This is Anytime Tools. It was in Amazon for like $35. I have some more expensive ones in our machine shop, and I checked them to those, and this thing's just as good. When you're looking for one of these, you want to find one with nice big numbers, so you can read it easy. Preferably one that's got either black and a white background. The black backgrounds with an orange dial are pretty nice, easier to read. You also want one that actually has right here this thumb roll. Just makes it easier when you're measuring a cartridge. Just makes it much easier to run this in and out and check your overall length. Especially if you're going to be checking so it's going to chamber. Right, I'm not getting into those numbers here, but good tool to have. If you want reliable ammunition, you want to make sure if it fits the spec. So that's that. This here, in addition to the caliper, I bought this. This is pretty much simulates dropping a bullet into your barrel to make sure that it would chamber. I think this one's made by Lyman as well. What you do here is it's got grooves here. When you drop your bullet and you want to hear that sound, do that one more time. It should fall in freely. Right? If you lay it on the table, it shouldn't stick up. It needs to be in between those grooves. As long as you're within the, shorter than the overall length, that is, for this your specific cartridge. This is going to be a quick check, last check to make sure they're going to chamber. If you're building bullets specific for a gun, a lot of people will remove the barrels from their guns. Do that same check in the barrel of their gun to try and get a little more accurate ammo. So the last few items, just show you real quick. We go down here. I got a couple things here. Just move these out of the way. It's always good to have a couple buckets. Just to, I keep my brass and dirty brass in one, clean brass in another. This here is a gold sifting pan. Got it on Amazon. Much easier, and I'll actually show you how it works. Much easier to separate your tumbling media using this and your brass. This is the 1/8 inch one, so they make different sizes. This is 1/8 inch, so nothing will fall through it except your whatever your media is. Media is very expensive. I've had really good luck with this here, also from Amazon. This was about a 10-pound bag, I guess, or maybe a 7-pound bag, and it was $8. It's lizard bedding for reptiles, for pets. But what you're looking for here is the ground English walnut shells. People either use corn cob or this. This here works very well. It's a little dusty. Ooh, we got a little hole there. It's a little dusty, but to combat the dust, I'll take you over here. To combat the dust here, we have dryer sheet. And that dryer sheet, you cut up into a few pieces, throw it in with your media. Also with a little new finish car polish, and you will have sparkling new brass when you're done. So I'll just show you real quick. This brass was probably tumbling for, I would say, maybe just about an hour and a half. Where this gold sifting pan comes in handy. This tumbler was bought. It's a Frankfurt Arsenal quick and easy case tumbler. Let me show you. This is why this pan's great. They sell all sorts of contractions to do this with, but basically, found out to be the easiest way. You can see my dryer sheets; they're soaking up a lot of the dust. So we have pretty much no dust here. I'll swap these out every so. These are used dryer sheets, by the way. You could use new ones, but I've been okay with the used ones. You tumble your brass around here a little bit, shake them, right? However you want to do it. When you're done, you got brand new brass here, nice and shiny. One more item, two more items I'll show you that I use here. Get yourself some plain old cases. I also save a bunch of empty boxes. I'll probably start using those when I get a load I'm happy with. But this is 100 rounds. These were $7. I bought 2 of them. And also, what I'd highly recommend here, maybe there's a little more dust than I thought there was. What I would recommend here is some masking tape. So when you're starting to work up your loads, you can identify the loads and put them back to your notebook there and make your notes. So that's it. Hope to do some more videos soon. Got my Kimber running good, and been shooting the crap out of all my guns, especially 45. Since I've been reloading, I just been wanting to shoot more. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.